we start off, and it's a hot summer day at Bumperton Hills Public Pool. And as we pan over, see the pool in the background, this little kid car races by in the foreground. He's like, woo! And a splash of water chases after him, and his fire truck friend comes into frame. I'm gonna get you! Chases him out of frame. We cut to Cory, and he's taking this big inhale. Trying to blow up her his little sister Chrissy's water tires. And she's so excited, she's chanting something. Whirlpool! Whirlpool! Chrissy, I can't blow up your water tires if you're jumping around. And she goes, okay. Cory takes another deep breath. Chrissy starts copying her brother. And Papa comes into frame. Need some help there, kiddo? And Cory's exhausted. He's breathing heavy. And Papa takes one big breath, blows up the water tire. There we go. And Chrissy's all lopsided. Papa comes around to the other side. Cory says, I was loosening it up for you. Papa blows up the other tire. Chrissy's really excited. Yeah! And she races off screen. Papa calls after her, no speeding, Chrissy. And Cory looks up at Papa and notices something kind of strange. Papa, when did you grow a mustache? Oh? Just a bit of sunscreen. Keeps the sun from toasting my windshield. Here, he pats Cory on the nose. And now Cory's got a sunscreen mustache. And Chrissy races into frame and bumps into Cory, backs up. And Papa says, you too, Chrissy. Pat! Now they both got sunscreen mustaches. And Chrissy looks at her mustache all cross-eyed and she's like, ooh. Cory laughs. And then Mama comes into frame. Cory, are you going to join us at the... Oh, nice mustaches. Anyway, are you going to join us at the little carpool? Don't tell Chrissy, but we're going to go make whirlpools. Whirlpool! And Chrissy jumps into frame. She's so excited. Whirlpool! 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 She races off screen. Mama says, Chrissy, no speeding by the pool! She chases her. So, you going to join us, Cory? Not today, Papa. Today, I'm going to jump off the high dive. Papa's sort of surprised by this. That's a pretty big step, Cory. Do you feel ready? I know I'm ready. I'm gonna go check it out right now. He races out of frame. Papa calls after him. Good luck, Cory. And then he goes and heads over to where Mama and Chrissy are at the little kiddie pool. And this big submarine installation rears up and spews water out the top, and all the kids are cheering. Woo! And we're with Cory at the big kid pool, and he approaches the pool and gives the water a little test. Oh, shakes off his tire, and then he gets in the pool. He's swimming by, and he sees all these cars doing fun stuff, floating, and a little antenna comes by, sort of acting as a snorkel, and he pops out of the water. Woo! Cory watches, he's very excited. The little convertible kid car races out of frame, and Cory continues on his journey. And then he approaches the deep end, and there's this ominous shadow coming over the pool, and a row of buoys that are blocking his path. He looks up, and clutches onto the buoy, and looks up at the dive, and the little kid car jumps off. Woo! Psh! That's not bad at all. I can do that. And he kind of looks over and he says, and sees the medium dive. And he keeps looking to the left, and sees the actual high dive, where a little speck at the top of the high dive jumps and starts falling toward the screen, and Cory watches him go down fearfully. Psh! Splashes into the pool, makes this huge wave that Cory rides out. And then there's a beat of silence. Cory leans in. And as the ripples settle, yeah! A little ATV kid car jumps out of the water. That was so cool! I'm gonna do it again! He races out of the pool, heads back to go get in line. And Cory's sort of nervous now. That looks fun. I can do that. And so Cory goes to get in line. He still looks up fearfully at the high dive. And then these two kid cars in front of him are having this conversation. So what happened to Timmy Truck? Rumor is he's the one that did the flop. No way. The flop? The one and only. From the high dive? And Cory comes up. Excuse me, fellas. What exactly do you mean by the flop? And they gasp and look at each other. You mean you don't know the legend? And Cory says, The legend goes that Timmy Truck came to this very public swimming pool to try out the high dive. When he jumped, he couldn't control the fall, and instead of diving, splat, right on his belly. They say his splash was so big, there was no water left in the pool. And to this day, no one knows what happened to little Timmy Truck. And they sort of lean in, waiting for his reaction. And Cory, taking the story in, says, "Oh. Well, good luck." And the little bus kid races out of frame. They've made it to the top of the high dive, and he goes to the edge and jumps off and falls. "We'll see you at the bottom." And the little tractor kid races off too. And Cory listens to a distant splash and steels himself. Carts his way to the edge. And when he looks over, down at the view, everything is so far away, and Cory is terrified. He backs up right into the line. "Hey, you jumping or what?" Sorry, yeah, I'm jumping." And Cory, kind of embarrassed, sort of races to the edge, right up to the end. He can barely peek when a gust of wind sort of blows him sideways. And Cory has to settle down and hunker down and cut in closer. He's really scared now. "I can't do this!" And Cory backs up really fast and starts heading back down. And all the little kid cars are getting out of the way of Cory as he races down. He gets off the ramp and he starts heading back toward the kiddie pool. And meanwhile, at the kiddie pool, Chrissy is making her whirlpools, and she races by. Whirlpool! And little, very dizzy kids come into frame. This has clearly been going on for quite some time. And Cory races by, over next to his papa in his chair, and hides under the back of the chair. "Cory? Are you okay? What happened?" "I couldn't jump off the high dive. All the other kids could do it, but when I got up there, I was so scared. I failed." And Papa listens to his words. "You didn't fail, Cory. Everyone gets scared sometimes. But none of the other kids were afraid." "Well, it could be that this isn't their first time. I bet the first time they jumped, they were very scared, just like you." "But how am I supposed to be unscared? I don't want to go back up there." Cory sort of turns around, feels really defeated, doesn't really know what to do next. And Papa thinks for a minute. Oh, well, why don't we start smaller? Come on, Cory, I've got an idea." And so Papa carts off, and Cory follows him, and they go to the edge of the big kid pool. Cory looks into the water, up at Papa. "So, what now?" Up on the hood. And so Cory backs up onto Papa's hood, and Papa lifts him up and says, "Now I want you to imagine that you're up on the high dive. What do you think?" And Cory looks down at the water. It's much closer. "Oh, that's not so bad. Think you can do it?" And Cory turns around. "Yeah, I can do this one." "You ready, Cory?" "Ready." Papa leans down and tosses him up. Whoa! And Cory goes sailing into the sky, and he squeezes his eyes shut, but when he peeks them open, he sees a really beautiful view. And he starts falling back towards the water, and he realizes this is pretty fun. And he sails into the water, and the ripples settle in a beat of silence. "Yeah!" And he's laughing. "How was that, Cory?" And Cory turns around. "That was so cool. I thought falling was going to be scary, but it wasn't at all. And the splash was so awesome. It was like, sploosh." "So, what do you think of the high dive now?" Cory looks behind him up at the high dive, and he's still pretty nervous about it. And he turns back to Papa. Maybe I won't do it today. But can I still practice off of your hood?" "Of course you can, Cory." And so Cory races up back to his papa as we back out. We see him trying to jump again.